What's up everybody? Welcome to the Stocks channel. My name is Corey and today we're going to do macro technical analysis on all of the indices and we'll also look at the VIX and Bitcoin. Today we'll answer the question, will the stock market crash? So first up, let's take a look at the S&P 500 SPX index. So let's crack open this chart and see what's going on in the stock market today. Alright, so to answer the question, will the stock market crash? The short answer is no. So if that's the only reason you clicked on this video, you can now leave because the stock market is not about to crash. Alright, so for those of you that want to stick around and see the objective technical analysis on why this stock market is not about to crash, let's jump right in. So first up, we're looking at a weekly chart. So every candle on this chart does represent one entire week's worth of price action. And we could see the SPX did close at our price target at 46.05 right on the button. So remember, anytime you get to one of my price targets, there's always the possibility of a pullback. When we start to pull back, if we do pull back from this level, you will see all of the narratives out there yet again that the stock market is about to crash and that we topped yet again. I can't tell you how many times we've gone over this and how many times our objective technical analysis was correct and I told you that we're not going into a bear market and we're not going to crash. This is the same exact thing, but that doesn't mean the bears won't come out of hibernation and try to call a top when we start to pull back from this level. I can't tell you how many times we've heard, Corey, the stock market's going to crash. Have you heard what the Fed's going to do? They're going to start tapering and raising rates. Did you see Apple's earnings? Did you see Amazon's earnings? And the stock market just continues to go up. Now, this isn't a perma bull channel where we just say the stock market's always going up, because if you've been following, we called that correction in September at the perfect timing, and we did get very defensive and we did protect ourselves to the downside. And most of us on the stocks channel did not even lose money in the month of September. So when I tell you the stock market is not going to crash, I'm going to give you very many objective reasons on why that's not the case. So we can see we're still closing at brand new all-time highs on this weekly chart, and brand new all-time highs are always the sign that you're in a very strong bull market. You can't get to brand new all-time highs without a lot of buyers and very little sellers. If this market was bearish and this market was about to crash, everybody would be running for the hills and all of that big money and smart money would be dumping their positions, and we just don't see any big money selling. We see low volume selling on the way down, and then we see low volume buying on the way up, which is a very healthy bull market. Now you can see on the weekly chart, we still have the very strong bull trend and the price action is still well above all of these moving averages. And as you can tell that we are breaking out to new price targets, that's an indication that we could start to see a pullback. Now let me jump over to this study from Sentiment Trader, which tells us thanks to a new high in the S&P 500's advanced decline line, the probability of a 10% drawdown within the next 3 months plunged from 15.9% to 4.6%. So that means there's about a 95% chance the stock market will not pull back 10% from these levels, which means more than likely the next pullback will be very shallow and will be another buying opportunity as we go form another brand new all-time high. So this is statistical odds. It doesn't guarantee that the stock market won't decline 10% or more, but you have a 95% chance that it will not decline 10% or more. So that tells you that you're absolutely crazy if you're trying to short this bull market expecting for a crash or correction to make you a lot of money. It's just not out there. And if you're shorting, you're trying to call a top, because what if we continue to go higher before we get a shallow pullback and now you're just underwater in your short position in a very strong bull market? So go with the odds in your favor, and right now the odds are in the favor of a shallow pullback and a stronger continuation of this bull rally. So jumping back over to the SPX, let's switch over to the log chart where we do have our resistance trend line. And as you can tell, that did trigger the last pullback. Last time we reached that trend line, we did get that pullback and we did get about a 5.5% pullback from that high. So we're getting very close to hitting that trend line yet again. We only have about 0.5% or about 1.5% to the upside before we get to that level. Remember, trend lines don't mean we can't break above that resistance and make it a support level, but there is a probability we will see a pullback from that level. So look for SPX to possibly pull back anywhere from now to about 46.76, which would be a target at the end of November. I do expect to see a bullish November, so if we do get a pullback in the first couple of weeks of November, that would be a buying opportunity because we're more than likely going to resume the bull market for the second half of the month and form that brand new all-time high up there right around 46.76. So if we do get a pullback, look for a very shallow pullback, and we might only go to SPX levels of about 45.30 to possibly about 4,500, and that's just going to be a buying opportunity as we continue to rally higher in this bull market. So let's take it back off the log chart, and we can see we are very close to that upper Bollinger Band, and we are going to get an expansion of those bands. So you can easily see a path to 46.76 in the SPX, but we do need to get a decisive break above 46.05 because I do expect to see that act as a very strong resistance level. We are going into FOMC next week, so there will be a lot of pause in the market waiting to see what the Fed says. So pay attention to next week's price action. If we do get a pullback and we see a strong bounce off support, that could be our next best entry on the trip to SPX 46.76 if we do get that Santa Claus rally. Obviously, if the price action starts breaking down below support, get more defensive because there's always the possibility we do get a sell the news event and then we could see something go from bad to worse. But right now, the odds are in the favor of the bulls because the price action is bullish, the trend is bullish, and we do continue to see a secular bull market, and we still have a lot of earnings reports to get through. And if earnings continue to do well and guidance continues to get raised, we could see the stock market going higher for many more months to come. Remember, just because I'm saying it's a bull market doesn't mean we can't get a pullback, so it is possible we do get about a 3 to 5% pullback. I'm just saying that's a buying opportunity and not something you should try to be shorting. If you're trying to catch that downward move with a short position, you could lose your shirt if the stock market continues to rally higher and you never actually get that pullback. So be very careful trying to short a bull market this strong. All right, next up, let's take a look at our bear bull survey, and we can see we did see a significant decrease in the amount of bulls. We went from about 47% of the people that were bullish down to about 39.8%, which does tell us there's more cash on the sidelines yet again. We have more people joining the neutral camp and just a few more bears, so we know the bears are more likely going to get short squeezed, and the people that are neutral have cash and are more than likely going to FOMO in when they realize the stock market's not going to crash and they're missing the rally. So the bear bull survey does align with our theory that we are going to continue to go higher because any shallow pullback is going to be a huge buying opportunity for all those people who are just dying to get into this market. And I can tell you there are a lot of people that missed this recent bull rally and are just dying to buy in and haven't been given an opportunity because the bulls took the elevator up. So that's why the next correction is very unlikely going to be a crash, and it's very unlikely going to be anything more than about a 3 to 5% pullback. There's a lot of people dying to buy into this market, and that's going to cause a lot of buy the dip scenarios, which are going to totally mitigate the possibility of the stock market having a sharp decline. So next, let's look at the NDX weekly chart, and we can see the NDX had a very bullish week with a very bullish weekly candle, and we did close at a brand new all-time high. Again, this is not price action you're going to see in a weak market, so I continue to tell you this is a very strong bull market. We have very bullish price action, and we do have the strong bull trend, and our price target is up here that's essentially at 16,000. If you want to know the exact number, it's 15,985. And from this week's close, we're less than 1% away from that price target. So it's very likely the NDX is about to get to that 16,000 level, and then we could see a pullback, and then we could potentially continue to break out and form new all-time highs. There's always the possibility that we are completing this wave, and we went over this before when we were sitting at critical support, and I told you it's time to be bullish because we're more than likely going back into a bull market. And a lot of the bears were laughing at me, thinking I was absolutely crazy and off my medication because they thought the market was going to continue to crash. Well, obviously the rest is history, and we were dead on the money because we had this incredibly strong bull rally off of those support levels. And I did specifically tell you to look at this wave structure and look for another wave higher to take us to new all-time highs and to get to my price target. Well, the rest is history, and you can see that's exactly what's playing out. And more than likely, when we get to that price target, we could potentially see a lot of weakness in the NDX, and that could favor other things like the small caps. So I'm just trying to tell you that the NDX is bullish, and we're very close to a price target that could cause a lot more weakness. Obviously, it's possible the NDX just blasts right through that target and continues to run, but do be cautious at that level because it is more than likely going to show some weakness in the NDX once we hit that price target. That will complete our wave structure, and anytime you complete a wave structure, you're always due for a counter trend move, which would cause a lot of weakness in the NDX as we continue to possibly trend back down towards support. That could happen over the course of months, so like I said, don't just try to short that because I said we could pull back. Just be aware of the possibility of a sector rotation. Jumping over to the Dow Jones weekly chart, again, we can see a very bullish market. Price actions at brand new all-time highs, closing at a brand new high for the weekly chart. The price actions above all the moving averages, and we still have the bull trend in the Dow Jones. So right now, all three indices are closing at brand new all-time highs, have strong bull trends, and have very bullish price action. Again, not a market you want to try to short, and not a market you want to try to call a top in. There's nothing on the Dow Jones that says we're way too far overextended, and if anything, it looks like we're breaking out of a sideways consolidation, which means we could have a ton of room to the upside, and we could see the Dow Jones start to run and never look back. Anytime something consolidates going all the way back to May of 2021 and just now starts to break out means we could have a ton of time to run to the upside, so don't try to call a top in this bull market. If you're getting bearish, you're much better off just going to cash and being patient, and then you'll realize you missed the rally and you're probably going to end up buying in at a much higher price eventually anyway. I'm not trying to tell you what to do with your money. If you're being nervous and you're scared about this market, by all means, go to cash. I'm just trying to talk you out of shorting this market because of how strong it is and how bullish it is. So the Dow Jones looks very good to continue to run, and we're blasting out, and it looks like we're just now gaining bullish momentum as the Dow Jones is going to continue to print brand new all-time highs. On the Russell 2000 weekly chart, we can see a very similar situation as the Dow Jones with a lot of sideways consolidation. We have the full bull trend and the bullish price action. However, we don't have the bullish breakout. So this goes with my theory that when the NDX hits that target at 16,000, we could see a lot of sector rotation as we see the large caps getting sold off in favor of the small caps, which are about to break out and absolutely blow off the roof and start running in a very strong bull market. Obviously, this is just my speculation because we need the confirmation of the price action and we need to get a breakout above about 2340 on the Russell. If we get that breakout and you start seeing weakness in the NDX, that's going to be dead on the money what we expect to see with the small caps breaking out, and we could see a very impulsive bull rally because we've been in sideways consolidation in the Russell 2000 going all the way back to February of 2021. So look for a very impulsive rally in the month of November to confirm my theory is correct, and then you will want to have some exposure to the small caps because they should have a very impulsive bull rally. Obviously, do your own research and make sure that you're comfortable with this trade, but that is more than likely what we're going to see happening going into Q4 of this year and possibly even extending into Q1 of next year. Like I said, we do have the full bull trend and we have the bullish price action, and the last time the Russell 2000 had the bull trend, it was hitting a peak and starting to go into a correction through time. We're back in that bull trend and we've gone through that correction through time, so the next best scenario is a continuation of the strong bull rally, and if I zoom out here, you can see just how strong that bull rally was. So anytime you get a correction through time or a correction through price, you're looking for a continuation of the previous trend. And as you can tell, the previous trend was incredibly bullish. So there's no reason to believe the Russell 2000 isn't going to break out and continue to finish this trend. So I'm very bullish on the small caps. And I do think when the NDX hits that price target, we could see a lot of small cap rotation and a lot of bullish price action in the Russell. Jumping over to the VIX weekly chart, we continue to see the VIX getting absolutely destroyed, which is exactly what you want to see in a bull market. We want to see the VIX continue to trend lower down towards 14 and then eventually down towards 12. And then when we get to those low volatility points, always expect the possibility that we could see a little spike in volatility as we get a pullback. Again, I don't suggest trying to short those pullbacks because they're very difficult to time, and you eventually just get way too greedy thinking the market's going to crash, and you hold your short positions for so long you end up losing a ton of money as the market runs away to brand new all-time highs and never comes back. So with the VIX, we do see confirmation of a strong bull rally, with the VIX looking like it's in a bear market on the weekly chart. So don't look at the VIX and think, oh my gosh, it has to spike just because it's low. In bull markets, the VIX will continue to get crushed, and we'll see the VIX continuing to trend down towards 12, even though it will happen over a course of many, many months. So look at the VIX, and if it starts to break out back above 18.2 or closing above 20, then you're looking for a deeper pullback that could possibly turn into a stock market correction. Jumping over to the Bitcoin weekly chart, again, we can see a very strong bull market in Bitcoin, which should be no surprise. Bitcoin is one of the best measurements of risk on sentiment in the market, and right now we see Bitcoin going full bull. We have a very strong bull trend, we have very bullish price action, and we see Bitcoin did close at a brand new all-time high, so there's no reason to believe that Bitcoin's just going to stop here and go through a major crash. We see very impulsive waves to the upside, we have the full bull trend, and we've seen Bitcoin breaking out and running before. So right now, we did get a pullback from that level at 67,000, and we did start to see a little bit of a cool down, but we're holding above all the support levels, and we're staying above the weekly 5 EMA. So look for a bullish bounce off of support, blast through 67,000, and get to that price target at 75,000. If we break through 75,000, the next price target is all the way up here at 86,500, and then we could start talking about a potential top in Bitcoin. I know a lot of people think I'm crazy because I don't think Bitcoin's going above 100,000 this year, but this is the price target that I have, and we'll cross that bridge when the time comes. But if you do remember, a lot of people thought I was going crazy and I needed to check into an insane asylum when I said Bitcoin's going to drop 50% from 60,000 and come all the way back down to 30,000. The rest is history, and then I called the bottom at 30,000, and here we are again at all-time highs. So when I tell you Bitcoin is going to hit significant resistance at 75,000 or 86,500, don't just listen to everybody telling you it's going to 500,000 this year. It's just overhype and it's just way too much optimism. And I'm not saying it's not possible. I'm just saying don't just assume it's got to happen. When we get to these levels, we'll have very serious conversations that Bitcoin potentially topped and it's going back into a bear market. Again, we'll cross that bridge when the time comes. For now, Bitcoin's looking bullish and it looks like we should have no issue getting the 75,000. And if we break that level, look for the next target at 86,500. So jumping back over to the SPX, as you can tell from this analysis, we're looking at the market from a macro viewpoint. So I'm not concerned with just intraday volatility. And I do think there is a possibility we see a little bit of a pullback. Don't just assume the market topped and that we're going to crash just because of the Fed meeting. And don't listen to the people trying to sell you fear. They've been wrong this whole entire time and they continue to try to call a top, and you're much better off just unsubscribing from fear mongering. It's just noise, and if nobody is following price action and following trend, they're going to continue to get this market wrong because there is a lot of noise out there, and eventually the noise gets so loud you end up listening to it and you blow up your trading account or you make a really bad decision because you just let the fear creep into your trading. Don't let fear creep into your trading. Stay objective, and if you're following price action and you're staying with the trend, you've been on the right side of the trade this entire time. So I'm here to help you. I'm not here to make fun of the bears, and I'm not trying to tell you to don't short if you know how to short and you're making money doing it. That's just fine. I'm trying to help the general retailer who continues to try to short this bull market and continues to lose money. We're not going to get it right every single time, but more often than not, we've been on the right side of the trade and we're doing very well in the stock market. So if you're looking for help right here on the stocks channel, there's plenty of ways to get it. I do have my own trade alert service called BANC Trade Alerts that only trades TQQQs, and I am currently running a 50% off promotion code for your first month, so now could be the best time to try BANC Trade Alerts. I also have the stocks channel Discord where I do intraday analysis and updates and come out with new trade ideas for you weekly. And it is a very great community of strong traders and we're absolutely crushing this market. If you're interested in joining the stocks channel trading Discord community, you can find out how to join by clicking on the link below. So thanks for watching everybody. I hope you're crushing this market. And as always, I will see you in the next episode.